Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So, rather awkwardly, the track ends, and there we are. So, I managed to get the interlude. How you doing, Alonso? Good to have you. Thank you very much there to Rich for having me introduced quite well. So, CMO, or CMO, as it is now. It is one I've not terribly large amounts of experience with, so it's going to be quite interesting. I do have at least two scenarios in mind. We're going to play the more advanced one to begin with, because I find it more of an interesting scenario, really. But I'm just going to get everything set up. Everything looks okay. I do believe the audio is okay, so that's good. I've got the music in the background, so I can control the volume, so do let me know if it's loud, too loud, or too quiet. That'd be good. I can adjust as we fly. So I'm going to go ahead and actually start the game up then. I do like this game. It's like as Richard says, it's one of those where you really have to sort of get into it. I really quite admire Kushan for being so damn good at it. I suppose that makes sense, though. I was talking to the other day, and it's like, oh yeah, I played a couple of thousand hours. I'm like, wow. How you doing there, chickens? Good to have you, my friend. Yeah, so what I'm going to go ahead and do here, Ben, is I was taking a look at the actual scenarios earlier on. I'm going to go with an early one. This one's actually rather amusing, actually. Kiev class, there's an actual film, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it's like the opposite of that one. It's quite amusing. I'm going to go... Well, I'm going to be selecting these two here today. So we have the Battle of Chumachin-chan, which is a far simpler one. I'm going to go with this one, which is slightly higher complexity and difficulty. And that is the Dawn Strikes. Now, the reason why I like this one is that we do have two carrier task forces in the area. We have a British and an American one, so we have here the first carrier strike of the Korean War was conducted. I do quite like the Korean War, I find it quite interesting. So this is set in, well, on the 2nd of July 1950. The first carrier strike of the Korean War was conducted by the USS Valley Forge and HMS Triumph against airfields and infrastructure in Western Korea. Whilst Valley Forge had a mixture of propeller and jet aircraft in the form of F-9F Panthers, Triumph's carrier air group was World War II era Sea-Fires and Fireflies. I quite like it because we have a very interesting mix of aircraft here, and a very, yeah, pretty diverse loadout I'd wager there. I'd wager the F-9F Panthers will have more carrier capacity, so that's going to be rather interesting. Also, taking a look at the actual ships that we may have as part of the escort is going to be quite intriguing. So, USS Valley Forge deployed to the far eastern part of the west coast on the 1st of May 1950. On the 25th of June, while anchored in Hong Kong Harbour, Valley Forge received the news that the North Korean forces had crossed the 38th parallel into South Korea. The next day, Valley Forge sailed to Subic Bay to refuel and store, and then sailed to Korea to commence operations against North Korea. Okay. So I have here HMS Triumph, part of the 1st Aircraft Carrier Squadron, and had just left Japan and was en route for Hong Kong when the Communist North and Korean forces attacked across the 38th parallel there, 25th of June 1950. This passage to Hong Kong should have been the first leg of HMS Triumph's passage back home to the UK in order to retire its elderly Sea-Fires and Fireflies, but instead the fleet joined Task Force 77 to conduct operations against North Korea. Yeah, there we go. So, rather interesting. I thought it would be a good way to sort of dip our toes into it, really. So here we are, Valley Forge and Triumph to enter their patrol areas once in position there to launch strikes at 6:15 local at their respective targets. So that's obviously something that we'll have to be ready for. So once we do begin the scenario, we'll take a look at the targets that we're actually going to be encountering and then obviously ready things. The airfields here are likely defended by medium and light AAA systems, backed up by small arms fire. North Korean fighters are a World War II era vintage, but still pose a threat. So obviously we'll have to recognize that. It means that we'll have to have either. I don't want to go for air. I could go for air superiority, but it does make you wonder. I mean, there is AA over these areas. We're going to be quite close. I believe we're on the coast. On the coast. So I think probably escort should be sufficient enough. We may potentially consider air superiority, but we'll have to take a look at what we have to play with, really. So intelligence indicates several Soviet warships in the Yellow Sea. Yeah, and their intentions are unknown at this time. So that is something that we have to take into consideration. Obviously, we don't want to accidentally open fire. Yeah, we return fire, we don't open fire. So Valley Forge and Triumph to launch reconnaissance flights to determine AAA defenses of their respective target areas prior to the main strike launches. So we have some time beforehand. We were previously told the time of the actual mission, so we'll take a look at that once we get in here. The Triumph carrier group to conduct primary strike against Haeju Airfield. Haju Airfield. Triumph carrier group secondary targets across the batteries in the vicinity of Haju. Valley Forge carrier group to conduct strike missions against Onjongni and Dongyang airfields. Bandoang Strait carrier group to provide ASW cover for Valley Forge. So that's something I'm going to have to look out for. Sorry. Okay then. So take a look then. Yeah, exactly. So I do have realistic aircraft damage on here today. And yes, we'll go ahead and begin scenario. So we'll take a look at this then. I'll zoom out to begin with. Yeah, okay. I had a look at the scenarios beforehand just to get myself relatively familiarized with things here. As you can see that we do have the 2 carrier groups over here, then we do have escorts around them as well, which is quite good. You can see that we are on the coast of North Korea over here on the western side of Korea. That's good. We have... I suggested there was a 3rd group and I didn't spot that actually, so maybe it's an airfield somewhere or it is an actual squadron aboard here. But take a look at it over here then. So we do have the British carrier group down here then, and we do have the American carrier group over there. So I think, whereabouts is it now? There's a way to see what the enemy may have. And I can't recall where that is now. Is it game? I'm sure it's out somewhere. I used to be able to play the game. It's been a while though. Yes, there's a way to look at what is generally in the area. But we have a pretty good indication then, so I'll have to figure that out as we go. Okay. So if we take a look over here then, we do have HMS Triumph over here then. Yeah, so we have HMS Triumph, we have HMS Belfast, Corsair Consort, Wave Conqueror, and Shoalhaven there. She seems to be our supply fuel. We'll just nickname it the Oiler here. Supply ship anyway. Okay. So we're given a list here of what weapons we actually have aboard. So we actually do have 102, 114, 152s. Okay, that's going to be quite handy there. So like right now, we can see that we have all these different concentric circles, or more or less circles. If I take a look over here then, you can see that the colours actually denote what they are. So let's see, the red over here, surface weapons. We have the orange, which I think is, so that's that one. Okay. And that's our surface sensors there. And we don't, surface weapons, let's see. Range indicators. Yeah. I'm going to hazard a guess at those being our air weapons, surface weapons. I'm going to assume that these are the surface weapons then. That's fine. But we're looking at the sensors here, I do believe. So if I go ahead and turn naval range indicators, I think I may have... Yeah, there we go. We have to select the individual ship there to get the range indicators. So yeah, we can actually take a look at what we have here in the actual task force. So we do have destroyers over here then. This is HMS Consort. We do have Kozak over here. Yeah, that is the RFA Wave Conqueror event. Yeah, so it's an oiler there. That's good to know. And then we do have Shoalhaven. I thought Shoalhaven might have actually been the oiler, but no, it is in fact a frigate. So I was hoping that would have something a little bit stronger in terms of surface defense, but the destroyers are strong enough, really. We do have the 114mm cannon there. I'm not too sure what causes this issue here. That's something I'll figure out. Relatively good then. Quit with depth charges there. Okay. AA. And there's been 1950 here. There's not too much in the way of advanced equipment for us to worry about. So let's go ahead and take a look at HMS Triumph over here. And I can actually go ahead and take a look at her. And I always really quite like this. I love that you can actually see here. And so we have R16 Triumph then. So 1946. Okay. Alright, radar is quite important then. Range is 90 nautical miles. Okay. So we do have multiple forms of radar here. Greatest extent of that reach being 117 nautical miles. Air search. Okay. Height finder. Yeah, we do have multiple radar systems here. That's going to come in handy. Mark 1 eyeball. I love that irony. Okay, so we do have equipped here then 40mm buffers. Yeah, as our defense then. So she's not equipped in the way that I think it is a Kargi or Kargi. with the 20cm guns. Yeah, she definitely doesn't have those. But that's not too bad, then. I just want to get an idea of what we're actually working with here. Now, what we're going to do is essentially inspect the actual carrier groups before we decide to place our orders. I want to get an idea of what we're actually playing with here. So we do have 23 out of a maximum of 24 aircraft. We do have 12 Seafires, and we have 12 Fireflies. Okay, one of them's parked in the hangar here undergoing maintenance. Okay, so these are prop aircraft then. Pretty cool. If I go ahead and click on them, can actually take a look at the Seafire. I think I may need to add in a mod or something of that nature, or add in files so you can see pictures of everything here. That might be why we're not seeing it. Yeah, you can see it was retired there in 1954 at last. Entirely, it seems. Now, sensors. Okay, generic visual reconnaissance camera. We are tasked with actually sending out a reconnaissance mission, so that we have to bear that in mind there. Right, they do have the Hispanos. Yeah, they have 220 mils there. Yeah, very much a World War II era aircraft. What speed do we actually reach for these guys? Speed. Armor. None. Okay. Agility 3. I might be looking in the wrong area for the actual speed. I'm not terribly familiar with the game here. I am filling in with Kashan. He's obviously quite the expert, but I think I'll try and learn the game as we go, really. Okay, so do have different loadouts. I'm rather interested. Ah, there we go. 370 knots then. That's good to know. Right, so we have the Seafires, we have the Fireflies. There we are. Yes. Fighter. What are they listed as fighter? Okay. So what I have to take a look at then is what is actually going to be more appropriate for to use. So we have really like 2 squadrons here to play with. We have a reconnaissance mission to carry out then. We do not have any other aircraft in this particular task force, so that's something we'll have to bear in mind. This one unarmored as well then. Okay. Ah, right, okay. So she actually does have radar, which is really quite phenomenal. 220 mils. She can carry rockets, okay. She can have a camera pod. I'd have to check on the other one. It seems like this one is more of a fighter bomber. Seems so. Speed is something I'd like to confirm. Speed being 335, yeah. So she's slower than the actual Seafire. So Seafire is going to be our escort, essentially. Well, as to whether I'd use a Seafire in a reconnaissance role, I'm not too sure. I mean, these were retired there in 1956. Okay. Yeah, that's quite interesting. So I do have reconnaissance over here in terms of the actual camera pod. So maybe they'll actually use the Firefly for the reconnaissance role. Let me just compare here with the Seafire. Visual. Yeah, so it's going to come down then to the Seafire. Sorry, to the Firefly, I should say. That's good to know. Now, a question is going to be like, how many of these guys do we actually want to use in terms of, well, for the actual reconnaissance? So it's 4:15 local time now. We have 2 hours to prepare, 2 hours until we actually have to launch a strike package. So I do need to go ahead and actually get some reconnaissance. The issue is, it is going to take us time to actually be ready. These guys right now are loaded with 3-inch rockets. Okay, 16 3-inch rockets. Right. Let me go ahead here. Can I see what else we have? Ready arm. Yeah, we can go ahead and take a look at show only usable loadouts. Yeah. Okay. You can see their ready time. I'm not sure if we're... See, this is in surge operations, this is sustained operations. Now, I'm not too sure whether we're under surge operations at this moment in time. I'd assume so. Generally, I think from what I know of the game, you will be in surge operations at the start, generally. How you doing there, Robbie? Good to have you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So that's something to bear in mind there. So, we know that we're going to be going up against coastal defenses. We have, obviously, airfields to strike. So I do wonder, then, what are we going to get more bang out of? The rockets are quite useful for targeted. They may be potentially more useful against the coastal guns, but we'll take a look. I mean, we do have the actual bombs there, good old bombs. I was thinking, well, with the actual rockets, we do have 16 of them. Can I know there is an actual... how do I actually find that? There's a database here. I forgot how you access it. It's been a while since I've played this game, so I'm trying to remember how to do things. I know there is a database. I may have to click on it individually. But we'll leave that for now then. So what we're going to go ahead and do then is... I think I'm going to go ahead and actually set up a mission here. So we have the patrol box, which is where we're intended to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to begin with then. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to get rid of these guys for now. So what I'm going to do, control, delete, I believe it is. Yep, there we are. And I'm going to define myself an area. First of all, we'll take a look over here. So we do have the coastal artillery over here then. So we have 122mm howitzers then, 6 of them. Okay. Yeah, 6 of them is interesting because obviously with it being 6, I mean we do have rockets loaded up right now actually. I don't think we'd have the luxury. If I was to rearm with bombs, they wouldn't be ready to go at 6:15, so I think we may have to stick with rockets. But it does depend. I may have some of them loaded with bombs now. I do have to make quite a choice, though, as to how many. We'll take another look at the briefing shortly enough, but I think we'll probably stick with the majority having rockets. It does depend on how much we're going to need to get the job done. We can see that each of them here, more than likely, is going to have a battery of 6 guns there. One would assume. We'll have reconnaissance fly over shortly enough as well, so we'll try and figure that one out. We do have another one there. Yeah, maybe then we have to stick with the rockets. We do have our target over here then, in towards the bay over here, Haju, or Heiju, however you want to pronounce that. So we do have the outfit over here, so we do have targets that we have to try and strike. Reconnaissance would actually identify where aircraft may be within these hangars as well. Potentially if we're fortunate, so bear that in mind. So yeah, what I'm going to go ahead and do then is I'm going to define an area here. That should be outside the range of actual coastal defense guns. So that should be relatively okay. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do then is we're going to add a new mission. Category. Let's call it Triumph. An original name, I know. We'll have that become a patrol. We'll go for a sea control. Should be okay. Yeah, so we can see our area over here called Triumph, which is quite cool. I love how it names things. We're going to go ahead and take task group. I'm used to saying task force, but we have task group over here. 75.5. We're going to have them assigned over there. Okay. So we have 75.5. Take a look over here then. Also not using nuclear weapons. Radar's active. Sonar's passive. Okay. Yeah, okay, that should be relatively fine. I'm not seeing anything that we have to worry about, really. I think we're okay. They should be assigned. They're going to patrol this area. I believe we're good to go then. So I believe they're set there. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do then, we've got this task group sorted out for now. I'm going to take a look at the loadouts. I think we'll probably stick with the rockets for now, because I think, well, fundamentally it's going to take too long to actually reload, rearm. And the situation is one where we need to be ready in 2 hours, not... Well, I don't know, it's an interesting one, really. But we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the American task force over here then. Now, we do have a larger task force, which is actually quite interesting then. So we do have the Valley Forge task force over here. Do we have a second carrier? Oh, it looks like... there we go. That's the one I was thinking of then. Yeah, Bandawang Strait then. I was thinking it might have actually been an air group, but no, we actually do have a second carrier over here then. That's excellent. So we have CVA-45 Valley Forge. What class are you? You look like a... Looks like an S6? Looks like an S6, perhaps? I could be wrong there. It kind of looks like an S6 to me. I think it is an S6 class. But I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody will be able to correct me in the chat there, but I think it's an S6. It kind of looks like an S6 to me. I don't think it's a midway. I don't know, actually. I didn't actually give you the actual class. I don't think so. Valley Forge. Unless it's its own class. Midway, Tarawa. No, I'm... Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's in Essex. I'm probably wrong, but we'll see that. Okay. Radar. Damn, that's effectively... Damn, that's 800 nautical miles. I don't know the effectiveness of this radar here. That's going to be something. 360 arcs there. But that's some long range, and that's quite interesting. Okay. Okay. Now we actually do have some decent, decent service weapons here then. So we do have the 4 127s there. Yeah. Okay. And then they do have the quad Balfours there. So they have a heavier armament than the actual HMS Triumph then. Okay, that's a little bit more. It's something I'll appreciate anyway. It just means that I'm not going to screw too badly because they can at least defend themselves to a greater degree. What is the range of those 127s actually? They have a range of 9 nautical miles versus the 2 nautical miles of the Balfours, I think it was? Oh, 3 nautical miles, yeah, 3. Alright, that's okay. Okay, we'll go with that then. I love all these, like, intricacies there. So take a look at what we actually have in the task force then. Go ahead here. I think I've selected the ship individually here. Well, we'll go through like that then. So we do have Shelton over here then, so a Guinan class destroyer. Okay. There we are. Fletcher. Yes, Bandwang. So she's an escort carrier, that's interesting. Fleet oiler here. And then we actually do have the Rochester. And she's a heavy cruiser. That's excellent now. Okay. That's quite nice. And what do we actually have aboard her then? Can I find out what weapon she has? So we have the 127s. We also do have some 203mm guns then. That's quite nice. Yes, thank you very much there, chickens. I did think so. Right, so we're aware then that there may be potentially Soviet ships in the area. It doesn't mean that there's not North Korean ships out here either. And we need to be able to identify them before we open fire. North Korean ships are okay. Soviets, not so much. We should probably try to avoid those. Okay. So we have that there. Now... I deleted the patrol zone over here by mistake. But I'm going to assume it wants to probably be in this general area. Let's go ahead and double check on... where do we see the brief? Order of battle. Oh. This might be the one I was looking for. There's a way to like look at what the enemy may have, in fact. That would have been quite useful. Contacts. Yeah, that's something that we could take a look at there. This is quite useful too. Yeah, okay. This, yes, this is what I was looking for, I believe. Actually tells us what we can expect then. Right. As far as we're aware, we don't know of AA over the actual airfields, but I can imagine that being incorrect. We know that there's radar out here. Dumbo. Or a name. Having some issues here with that. I'm not too sure. Range 54 nautical miles. So I'm not too sure if we'll be outside the range of that. Probably not. Okay. So the actual coast artillery then. What range are we looking at? So they can spot out to 18 nautical miles. Their range is 7.1 nautical miles then. Okay. So they're working with binoculars then. Right. That's encouraging then. Okay. We'll work with that then. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is we'll take a look at the briefing once more. So side briefing. Valley Forge. Okay. So we need to launch our reconnaissance flight center to determine the A defenses of their respective target area. So Valley Forge is going to be targeting Sunan, was it? Onjongni, Pyongyang. Onjongni. I'm going to assume that's that one. Yeah, Onjongni. And then Pyongyang airfield here. There's a radar over here, which is less than ideal. It'd be quite nice if we could try and knock out those radar units. It probably would help us out significantly. But these are our missions, so we don't have a mission to go ahead and do that, so we're going to concentrate here. Okay. And then we have combat air group conduct. Yeah, strike against Heiju airfield. Rocket should be relatively fine then. Yes. Bandwang straight. Yeah. SW cover. Righto. So I'm going to set a patrol group for out this way. Well, sorry, patrol area for out this way then. I'm going to go ahead and define a zone. Range is going to be an interesting one then. We'll obviously have to check on the range of our aircraft, which should actually be a good idea before I do that, but I think I could probably get away with something like that. Maybe that's far too close. I guess we'll find out. I can always change the actual area. Maybe that is too close. We'll go with it for now. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new mission here. And we're going to go the same as we did beforehand, patrol and sea state. Sea control, I should say. Okay, we'll call this Bandwang. Bandwang. Okay, Task Force 77 can be assigned to that. Yeah, validate area, yep, okay. That seems like they'll move out that way. I believe they are assigned here. I could be wrong. If somebody does have more experience with the game, do let me know if I'm making mistakes here. I'm trying to learn this one on the fly here. So, we'll see how that goes. We can also see up over here on the top left what we can actually see in the groups. That is quite good. Right, so we have that done. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is take a look at our actual air groups then. We have a significantly larger number of aircraft over here, which is quite encouraging. Let's see. Is this aboard the Valley Forge? It seems to be, in fact. Yes, and we have 10 out of 23 over here then. Okay. Yeah, a number of them are unavailable right now. A number of them are being made ready here. Those 300mm rockets, quite nice. These guys parked in the hangar. These guys are ready to go then, Tiny Tims. Okay. Can it be used for ASW though? That's going to be the question. I hope so. I hope so. Well, we have maritime surveillance over here. Torpedoes. Interesting. Depth charges over here then. Yeah, so it is a depth charge. Fido, depth charge. Yeah, sonar. So these are the guys that we want to have running the actual ASW then. That's fine. The ASW is going to be an interesting one then, really. We're going to be moving out this way. The DDs do have sonar, I'd wager. They have their depth charges themselves as well. I'm going to assume that they have sonar. I'm probably quite safe in that one. So anyway, we'll go over here to Valley Forge then. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the actual range of the aircraft. We have 2 hours to get into position, essentially. Well, we'll have 2 hours until we can actually... Well, until we have to actually launch a strike. That's when the strikes need to come in. What I want to go ahead and do then is get an idea for what we have. So we have some Corsairs over here, and relatively familiar with those. We do have the Panthers over here. They're going to be rather cool aircraft. So let's take a look at the actual Corsair. Yeah. That's a very familiar silhouette there. Now, we are going to be engaging, potentially, Soviet aircraft. Well... Apparently North Korean flown aircraft, but likely Soviet aircraft. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is if I can take a look at the arm. I can actually see their range. So, with these rockets over here, for example, they would have a range of 240 nautical miles there. You can see what they'd be carrying. So this one they have 8 rockets, this one they have 4 rockets and 2 bombs. Over here they have 4 rockets and 2,000-pound bombs. I quite like that. it doesn't reduce the range that much. You can see if they were just carrying the actual internal guns, with the drop tanks on, you can see they have a long range there. They'd be able to do 750 nautical miles. Just internal guns, they have 410 nautical miles. Okay. So in terms of attacking an airfield, it does make you wonder, in fact. I'd assume that the 1,000-pound bombs and the 127s are probably a good way to go. They should generate a good blast, I suppose you could say. Wait, 4470. Sorry, 447. Right. I think what I did. Yeah, so I think this indicates how much damage they do. So 303 damage points, I believe, is the measure of that bomb. How you doing there, Akagort? Good to have you, my friend. So that's something to bear in mind, but compared to the rockets, 22, not too sure. Maybe I'm incorrect on that, but I suppose it just makes sense. This is a significantly larger bomb, and I think it has a, 22 kilogram high explosive. Over here, then, we have 202 kilogram, so that's like, almost like 10 times. That's good to know. The napalm, 36, more useful against other kinds of targets like biologicals. I'm going to go ahead and wager that we'll be using 1,000-pound bombs, but it depends really on what we have the ability to do here. We do have a number already loaded with the 500-pounders. We do have 500-pound, the napalm. Of course, range is going to be a limiting factor. So these 4 guys over here are going to be the ones that we're likely going to have target the airfield initially. But it does depend. Napalm could be used, but I'm just not entirely sure how useful that's going to be. Can I go ahead and take a look at one of these aircraft hangars over here? Can I get an idea of how strong they are? Yeah, so they have 600 damage points then, so I think this is essentially how much it's going to take to destroy that. Okay. But we'll get to that when we get to that. We don't really have time to rearm, so it's not really something I can... Well, I guess I do have time to rearm, so we do have 10 hours in total for the actual scenario. We have to attack in 2 hours. How do people feel about it? We do have a little bit of time to make a decision, but how would you guys feel about it? I'm kind of tempted to go ahead and actually load up the 1,000-pound bombs. At the end of the day, we know... Yeah, I know, I wish we had cruise missiles. That'd be great. Yeah. We know that we're going to be going up against hardened targets, so I imagine probably heavier armament is going to be required. Or ordnance, I should say. Yeah, that there being 1,000. Likely going to probably want to arm up with the 1,000-pounders. We do have a radar over here. I don't know, actually. Well, the rockets are probably more accurate. The bombs are unguided, so that's obviously going to be a problem there. It's 1950s tech. But it should be relatively doable. But what we're going to go ahead and do then is going to set up a reconnaissance then. I'm going to have to reconnoiter these areas over here then. I'm not too sure if... I could make one larger area, like something like that size. But I don't know how effective that is. But it may be useful to actually have a larger reconnaissance. And then we may be made aware of what is potentially in this area, because we don't know everything in this area. So I think I might go ahead and do something like that. So I think I might define an area like that. Let's move that out a little bit further. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's too large for reconnaissance. I'm not too sure there. We've been made aware of lighter AAA and medium AAA. There's apparently World War II era aircraft that might be in the area. I think I'm going to go for that. That's probably okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a mission then. Not that one, not strike. Where's... So I have patrol over here then. Where do I have reconnaissance? Is it under here? Support mission perhaps? May just be patrol then. Possibly. It's been a long time since I set up a patrol here. Let's take a look. Ferry I don't think is going to be it. I don't think it'll be these ones. I don't think it'd be a strike mission. I think patrol is going to be more than likely. ASW patrol. Seed patrol. I forgot what seed is, but I think it may be a seed patrol. Surface enemy air denial? I forget what these are. I'm gonna go with ground. That sounds about right. Again, if you guys know about this, do let me know. That'd be ideal. Alright, I'm gonna go for a recon 1 then. So we have the area now designated. Maybe it's too large, but I guess we'll see how it goes there. Alright, so we have Bandowang, Reconnaissance, and Transfer. I have a Sky Raiders here. I think we'll probably rapidly find out if it's not correct. Investigate, okay. Let's need to find out the aircraft. This is our maritime surveillance here. And I believe she's aboard the Valley Forge. Oh no, she's aboard the Bandowang Strait now. Let me just go ahead and double check here on Valley Forge again. What aircraft I want to be setting out here. Yeah, so we can see they're assigned to Bandowang mission then. That's good. I just want to go ahead and take a look at the aircraft. Alright. It'd be nice if I could have them sorted by role. That'd be handy. Oh, cool. They're very nice. I'm not as familiar with certain aircraft, so that's an attack aircraft. Look at that, that's crazy. I can't imagine that. That's so cool. That's really cool. Right, airborne early warning. Interesting. But I don't think it is reconnaissance orientated. Ah, there we go, recon pod. Right, so I want to assign the F4U5P. Okay. Yeah. That sounds about right. Pretty speedy. So yeah, F4U5P. So we'll have that assigned there. I'm going to take that one, then I have them assigned. So F4U5P, wasn't it? Yes. Right, so we'll have you assigned there. Okay. Flight size restrictions. Yeah, I'm going to add a second one anyway. I've lost it now. That's easier. That one. So it's like I should have selected them. Okay. I can manually call them back if we need to. So we'll go ahead and ready the aircraft. No, okay. Ready selected aircraft. I think they'll be good to go. I think they're assigned. I can double check that, but I believe they are assigned. Apologies. I believe there is sign there. It looks like the number has decreased there. Yeah, there is sign there. That's okay. Right, so we have that there. We need to sort out an ASW, but I'm going to go ahead and set up a reconnaissance over this area. I'm going to... Hang on. Oh, okay, there we are. That's fine, then. I don't think I need to run reconnaissance of these areas per se. It might be useful, but I don't know how much I'm going to actually have here. Let me go ahead and take a look. So obviously I'm a little bit more limited on aircraft. Yeah, so we've got this sorted then. So we do have, yeah, so it looks like it's already been decided for us then. So we have a set of reconnaissance. Should take a look at that earlier on. So we have 2 aircraft there. So aircraft 10, so yeah, 800 squadron, 10 and 11. So we'll be sending out the Seafires there. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to set up a new mission then. I must say the stream is going significantly better than I imagined it would do. I thought it was going to be like a train wreck. Maybe there's time. Maybe there's time. Maybe I want to... I don't know. I guess we'll go with something like that to begin with. I'm not entirely sure what's in this area. It'd be good to find out if there is any AA. But we'll see then. So I'm going to add a new mission here. Hopefully that's right. I'm going to assume it's right because it says ground there. So we'll go with that. Call it home. Well, I'll call it Recon 2, and then at least we'll know. And I shall go ahead. It was the Seafires, it was these guys, have them assigned over here. And they should be good to go there. Okay. So we have that sorted then. We have 2 hours until the strike has to go ahead. We need to set up an ASW. Now, the ASW one's going to be an interesting one. I guess I could alter the mission areas and move along. I want to have the aircraft set to loiter if I'm going to be doing that. It will be an interesting one to see how... I could set to a fairly large area, perhaps. I guess I could. I guess it makes you wonder then, like, how large is large? But I think I'm going to go with that initially. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I mean, it says ASW, but I've no idea what kind of class of submarine they may have, so I don't know. Maybe I'm going too large, maybe I'm not going large enough. It is a hard one to say. I think I'll bring it in a little bit more, but we'll see. We'll move it as we go, then, I guess. And go from there, really. So I'm going to go ahead, then. Be a patrol, then I'd wager ASW. Patrol. There we are. Right, there we are. Now the question comes down to, like, what aircraft am I going to want here? I may have actually luckily chosen the correct one there. I'm going to assume so, considering they have a depth charges. Yeah, anti-submarine warfare. Thank God I chose the right one. Okay, so have you two. Can I go and control? Yes, I can. So I'll have them assigned initially. So they're going to loiter. Transit throttle station. So they're going to move out about cruise speed and then they're going to loiter. Maybe that is too large of an area. We'll see. I've also got to worry about the time on, time off. We do have some additional aircraft of that type, but I do have to... I need to know, like, how long I can keep them on station, really. So there's a TVM 3S2 Avenger. We do have 5 of them, but these are unavailable. So we have one, right. And then about the bandwagon state. Strains. I think I'm going to take one off for now, at least then I have some leverage. I'd have to double check that. Maybe I need more, but if I can just have that patrol, then at least I can maybe cycle one out, perhaps, or something of that nature. We may yet have more aircraft I can do that. I do have maritime surveillance up here, but I don't think that's really one I want to have committed to that. Yeah. Cap might be a good idea as well. Search and rescue. Ah, that's the helicopter. Okay. I guess we'll go with that for now. And just pray to God we don't get hit by a sub or something. I think 2 is okay. I guess we'll no fish, please. I guess we'll take it as it comes. Hopefully that's good. And again, cap is going to be an interesting one. How do you do the... I forget how you do it now. Plot course. There is a way. Range and bearing 2, so control D. Okay, yeah. So that's 40 nautical miles. What I'm thinking about then, so right now we are about 76, 77 nautical miles away from the target there, that first target. We see the airfields out here, we see the airfields out here. So I'm going to wager we should have like a cap in this general area, covering this sort of area here. That's probably a good idea. We do have enough aircraft, so that's a good thing. I could even have some Panthers out on combat air patrol. That might be a good idea. We do have plenty of strike aircraft. We have obviously more here than we do with the British carrier. So I'm going to go ahead and probably have some of the actual Panthers potentially on cap. Their speed, and they should probably have greater range. I'm going to take a look at that in a second, but we'll see. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do then is... Oh gosh. Maybe something like that. I don't want to get that close, but maybe something like that initially. I don't know, maybe something like that. Right, okay. So we're going to create a new mission then. As for how many we'd need in there, God knows. Okay, air intercept, strike. Patrol, I guess. I wish I knew what ASUW meant. God damn it. Anti-air warfare. I'm going to assume that's what I want to have. Okay. Now, we do luckily have quite a few Panthers here. Yeah, these guys are carrying into the guns. Yeah, I may need to have a number of these actually made ready for... Well, I don't know how many I should have on camp here. Wingmen can investigate, engage separate contacts. I don't have all of them available, that's the thing. We do have radar, so it should be okay. So I think I'll have 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So I think we'll have maybe... Well, actually, maybe I'll go for just 4 initially, perhaps. Maybe 4, so maybe 12, 13, 14, 15. Something like that. Yeah, they're just giving the internal guns there. Yeah. Go for 2 sections there. Something of that nature. How you doing there, Ev? It's good to have you, my man. So I guess we'll go for something of that nature there. Though I may want to add in a couple more there, perhaps. I'm thinking, yeah, I think we'll add 10 and 11 then. Bring us up to 6 in total then. Actually, no, we'll go for the section there. So they'll be broken up into 3 sections. I'm going to assume that. And if we take a look over here, then, so they have 520 nautical mile there. 4-hour flying time. That should be okay. Should be okay. All weather. Yeah, should be alright. So we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Okay. So now, we've gone through things. I've been fumbling. I probably want to go ahead and set up a cap out this way then. I don't have to have it as large, but I think I probably do want to go ahead and set up a cap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in this area. Well, that one's going to be a more interesting one, really. But I'll have a cap set up over here. I'm going to be shifting out to this area here, actually, so maybe I go ahead and just... the difficulty is that I need to go ahead and destroy these. I may have potentially range with the actual ship, so that's something we'll have to investigate. But I'm going to go ahead then and just create a mission here then. Like so. Got to hope it's AAW. I believe it is. Okay. Which is showing me, yeah. Well, we have C5s here. Well, they are under our rockets. Firefly is more of our strike. I'll go ahead and have a couple of them out there. It does reduce my actual strike package, but I can't afford to have the carriers come to attack. Still leaves us with the... Yeah, so we still have 12 Fireflies there. And then we do have these guys here, which can be our escort. I think that should be okay. 2 sections. I guess we'll go with that. We can change things as we go. Right, so we have that there. Okay, so... I think we're okay. I think we're good. I think we're good, Jim. I have no idea. By the way, it's actually night. I have it set here to daytime so you guys can actually see what's going on right now. But if I go ahead and just turn that on there, yeah, that's why I went for that. It looks really cool though, not gonna lie. But yeah, a little bit harder to see what's going on exactly. So we're gonna go back. There we are. Makes it much easier. So we'll begin. Okay. Do let me know about the audio. This game is very loud. Okay, so we actually do see here then, apparently... Yeah, we have contacts here. Civilian contacts, apparently. Skunk. Okay. So this has been identified as a civilian junk. So, I assume... I believe that... Yeah, sail. I was going to say sail. These are potentially dangerous targets. Not spotted anything over here to the north as of yet. No enemies sighted as of yet. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is take Valley Forge over here. Yeah, you can see that Valley Forge is moving down this area. What I'd like to go ahead and take a look at then is... yeah, so that is the range there of our air sensors. We have our surface sensor there, and we have our well, they don't have an underwater sensor. Maybe the destroyers. I'd like to think that destroyers do. I wager they probably do. Oh god, I hope they do. I'm sure it's going to have a sonar. Sure it's going to have a sonar. Oh, I hope so. Yeah, hull sonar. 2 nautical miles. Maybe I was zoomed too far out. Maybe they just don't have it deployed yet. So I could drop a buoy over here. Or I could go for the deployed deepened sonar. I don't know if that will reduce the speed. Not sure. But we are moving, aren't we? Yeah, there we are. Okay, so we'll take things relatively slow to begin with. I will speed things up a little bit. We'll go for about ×2 there. Let's make sure this plays. Yep, come on. There we are. Okay. So we have HMS Cold Sword on our as our lead here. Now I believe the orange is their range, at least of their sensors. Service weapons. Oh, contact somewhere. Okay. Oops. Right, okay. Right. Well, should be okay. It does very much depend on what we're dealing with here. That's what I mean. That sound effect's so loud. So goddamn loud, I should say. So we have a skunk over here then to the north. We have our aircraft out here then. So we have the Panthers out. We have over here then the Seafires out right now. Okay. Right, so we are detecting targets out this way. Okay. That's very loud. I don't know how I'm going to manage that. I think I can turn the game down a little bit more, but I'm not too sure. Okay. I do have to be... yeah, they're getting altitude there, so that's our reconnaissance. I'm hoping they don't get shot down. I don't think they will. The good news is, by the way, we can see that we do have a civilian ship over here, then. You can see that these detections are ongoing now. We do have our Panthers there. We have our Corsairs over here, then they're moving out. So this is identified as a skunk for now. Is that a new contact? Okay. Yeah, you can see how these have been changed. Okay. So we're moving over here then. It is really awesome that you can actually see them. So they're at, yeah, close to 12,000 feet there. Right. So we see multiple contacts around the area. It's not often you get to say that, so that's pretty cool. So far, these have just been identified as civilian then. 5 knots. Okay. It's about 2 hours ago. Well, 1 hour and 50 minutes, give or take. Right, so I have some sonar. I did make it a fairly large zone. And so they're out there deploying then. I wonder how much those cost. Well, at least it gives the task force, I guess, relative cover. We don't have cover here, but yeah. Are they going up as a group of 2? I think we just have the 1 in there. Flight Star 57. It might be the 2 in there. I guess we'll find out. Right, Panthers on combat air patrol. Have our Corsairs moving in there. Maybe 2 was overkill? I'm not too sure. I suppose it's always good to have at least a fallback, potentially. I don't have ASW down here, I don't think. Right, so far we've identified. I mean, yeah, this is the only problem is that these guys are on combat air patrol, but they're like so far away from our actual group. Maybe I want to go ahead and edit that mission. That should bring them in there. Hello, what was that? Radar and of short range. Right. Looks like they're moving over there. They might be able to actually manage. Well, yeah, they might be able to visually confirm that. Civilian there. Oh, I see you just redeemed CMO there, Bloody. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an interesting type of game, I can tell you that. Right, what altitude are they at? They're at 25,000. I don't know if that's correct altitude. I don't know. First time doing anything of this nature. Quite some time. I guess we'll see. We can always tell them to lower altitude if needs be. Yeah, I'm not sure what altitude we need to have them at. We'll figure it out as we go. Oh yeah, it's really quite nice. It really does give you an... I mean, this is it. It's like, I do believe that the US UK... I do believe that they do actually use CMO. I think they use a more advanced version, I do believe. For training, actually. Wait for it to... should get a more high resolution. I think sometimes it may take a little while to load. Or this may be the best that we have for now. I'm not too sure. It's still relatively good. Yeah. Looks like it may not have loaded this area. I'm not too sure. You can see that we have some... Well, it looks better, but I don't know. Take a look at the relief. And it loads. Yeah, there we are. This is something I really quite like, so you actually can see the relief of the actual... It is incredible, actually, to actually see the mountains out here. And this all actually matters. Like, being lower down here is going to really matter. Like, you can actually hide behind features like this. Very cool. Really get a sense of just how awesome this game is. I can definitely see how mountainous that area is. And you think this area is quite mountainous, and then you actually see up over here, and you're like, whoa, okay. Those are some fair mountains. You can see just how flat the North Chinese plains are. You can see over here. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Yes. Okay. Maybe I should have had... I don't know, maybe I could have gone about that a different way. Well, they're patrolling the area, so at least that's something. It is nighttime. It doesn't look like it, but it's actually nighttime. It's 4:30 AM. Maybe I bring them down. Camera altitude. Oh, that's where we are now. Well, obviously the actual camera altitude there. I don't know. These guys actually have radar, which really helps them out significantly. Still got our cap over there. Maybe I don't know. I guess the cap is fine. We have our ASB over here, man. It's very cool to have this mix of old and new aircraft. It's very interesting. Yeah, I can see they're dropping the boys. See, those are at different... I suppose you could see depths, I suppose. do our doctrine there. So I think we're looking relatively okay. Like right now we're only going at 2 times real time. And there's quite a lot of ships over here. So far we've identified firmly about 4 sail ships over here. These are civilian ships. Now this way we have a number of civilians identified, only 2 of them. We did have reports that there are apparently Soviet ships in the area. So that is a concern. That's interesting. Short range. Okay. The radar is interesting, but it could be civilian ships. But I find it somewhat unlikely, I'm not too sure. Oh, hang on, I realize I only have 20 minutes left. Maybe I should speed things up. But we do have both task forces moving in now. I don't know if that's overkill or not. I don't know if they're at the right altitude or not. Oh, they're really quite low there. They're only at 1,000. Maybe I want to bring these guys down. Maybe it's because they're a set of fighters. Try medium altitude, I guess. Well, yeah, we'll try medium altitude. You can see they're decreasing in altitude there. All part of the learning experience. I must say, though, I'm quite surprised that we haven't spotted any AA as of yet. It does make me feel like I've done something incorrect. I'll have to look it up afterwards. I'm sure somebody will be able to, like, tell me. I'd worry about... I guess we'll go lower. I mean, they're at 1,000. Maybe go down to 1,000 then. See them rapidly descending now. I mean, we have a strike that has to go out shortly. Yeah, that'll be the cap there. Oh, hang on. We actually do have targets identified here. Right, so we do spot a mine layer. Yeah, I did think it was kind of fishy that we had radar contact. Let's go down here then. Go down just to 2. Okay, so we do spot a TKG5 series. Yeah, mine layer there. I don't think that's going to be really of threat to us. Yes, it just has MGs over there, so not really a threat to us. These mines, however, would hurt, but yeah, so we can see an enemy there. This one is a Soviet ship then, so this is a coastal patrol boat. That's going to be interesting then. So this one is equipped with MGs. It does have a 45mm gun. That has a 2 nautical mile range, however. Okay. Right. We can see that is identified in a different colour. But at least we know about Soviet. Oh! That scared me. Okay. So we are engaging then against the... Yeah, so we do have HMS Belfast. I thought we had a cruiser out here. I knew we had a cruiser, yeah. HMS Belfast there. Let me see. Can I go ahead and just reduce the volume here? Am I able to do that? Yes, I think I can. Maybe that's okay. So we'll go down then to real time. So we do have HMS Belfast engaging here against the mine layer G5. It's pretty interesting. Do have second shot out there. And there's civilian junk in the area. See the range. Yeah, as the seconds fly by. What range are we, oops. Oh, I can hover over that and press control and you actually get that. That's pretty cool. What am I looking for here? I forgot what it is now. Where's the range? Ah, yeah, control D. So we are firing at 10.6 nautical miles there. Engage, offensive underway. That did wake me up. Shell about to land there. It looks like we have a hit, perhaps, or is that a miss? Ah, yes, that's a hit there. So she's on fire, taking on water. Looks like that may have been a miss, but she would likely go down shortly enough. Yeah, I mean, she's pretty screwed. She's under fire from a light cruiser. She has absolutely no way to respond. Not the day you want to be aboard the G5 here. Not that, not that great a day. I do have a Soviets over here. Oh god. It does make you wonder, how would they respond in this situation? I mean, this is it. They can't engage themselves, but they'll try and get in the way. That first hit was good, though. Yeah, they're down to 2 knots here. They're essentially screwed. Heavy damage there. Yeah, she's been eliminated now. Okay. HMS Belfast doing a superb job there. So we're actually in range then of a coastal artillery battery there, which is interesting. Yeah, now that's the only worry is that you don't want a ship to come into this area. I can imagine that scare the crap out of these ships in this area. I mean, you can imagine being like, I don't know, let's say you're over here on this sailing ship or these guys in the area. You can hear this, and you can more than likely see that something's just been taken out there. Soviet Union. Well, we do have a visual over here, then it seems. I don't know why it does that. Seems like some sort of bug. I'll have to ask somebody about that. Okay, so we've actually claimed a enemy there. That's cool. Yeah, it looks like we have some decent information over here. I need to take into consideration strike time as well, actually. So if I go ahead and take Control D, where we are now is about 30 nautical miles. Yeah, don't get closer, my friend. Don't get closer. Yeah, so I have a headland out here. Yeah, there we go. So we had radar. That is likely going to be an enemy combatant. It could just as well be a Soviet ship as well, though, however. But obviously, the fact that it has radar does probably spell that out to be military men, it seems. Possibly so. Okay, we've had another update. New ground combat. Now we're finally starting to see things. Right, so we do have AAA over here. Are they too low? We'll find out. Yeah, they're too low. I did think they were too low. Yeah. Okay. I was like, are they too low? Yes, they are. They are too low. Yes. So we've lost an aircraft there. Aircraft. I don't know why I said it. May lose the second one here. They're under fire right now. Yeah, they're pretty buggered. On fire, G tolerance there. Yeah. Looks like we're engaged in something else. Unit lost. Yeah, bailing out there. Yeah, so we've learned a valuable lesson that 1,000 feet of altitude is not right, and we're engaged in a second target. It's not over that way, I don't think. No, it's down. Oh, we're engaged in multiple targets. Okay, we have mine layers. Okay. And this is again HMS Belfast engaging. I think HMS Belfast, is she actually on the Thames at the moment? I think she's on the Thames at the moment as a museum ship. Yep, engaging out here. Yes. Okay, so we paid the price there. We have gained information here, which is quite valuable then. But obviously that's going to cost them potentially their lives there, so it's not exactly ideal for them. If I take a look over here at the relief map. Yeah. Did tell them to gain altitude. Come on, reload. Right, yeah. It's a relatively low line airfield then, it seems. Okay. Ugh. Not the information you want to give your life to acquire, really. Well, they didn't need to... Well, they needn't have died, but obviously that's a lesson learned there. Yeah, engage against the mine layers here. The interesting thing is like, they are making forays. I don't know what they could possibly hope to achieve by doing so. As far as we're aware, they're only equipped with the MGs. We have shots coming out from over here on the HMS Consort. She's also engaging. Do have Wave Conqueror over here then, yeah. Yeah, so the other one was shot down there, that's a shame. So they went in too low, but we've learned a valuable lesson there. We do have AAA out here. Yeah, that's a pretty good win for them, really. I didn't realise, I was like trusting in the missions, but yeah, this is the experience there. So they went in too low. It is interesting, apparently we didn't see anything out here. I don't know, maybe we just missed it, but who knows. And over here, we're currently... Well, pause there for the moment. These guys... Yeah, they're gaining altitude again. So at least we don't have to worry about them as much. Still engaging out here. Yeah, maybe they do plan to lay mines. Okay. CG tolerance there is something I have to take into consideration as well. Okay. So we have about an hour to go. I'd have to use a calculator to figure out how long it takes them to arrive there. I imagine calculators will come in quite handy for this game. Yeah, but it's looking pretty good so far. I think they're likely engaged in using their 100mm gun. Yeah. Interestingly, they can fire against helicopters and aircraft. Dual purpose. Very nice. Missiles, yep. Very cool. Yeah, the Soviets in the area are interesting. It was a very good thing that we had them acquired beforehand. Otherwise, that could have led to quite the incident. Yeah, that's another target down there. So it looks like so far we've eliminated 3 mine layers. Very good. I imagine we could probably edit our doctrine settings, or mission settings, whatever you wish to call them, and reduce the amount of actual assets that may potentially engage. Yeah, we do have enough target there. Alright, engaging. Yep, mine layers. Okay. Panther's out here. At 36,000 feet. Maybe that's a good altitude. I'd have to look this up. I have really no idea when it comes to like modern doctrine. Okay. British doing quite well. Yeah, okay. So as far as we're aware, but this looks like another, yeah, that's more than likely going to be either another mine layer, or it could be Soviet. And they are keeping their distance. Yeah. Now we are seeing ships over here. 8 knots. 14 knots is interesting. Oh, we have a new yes. Okay. About an hour there, so the strike has to go ahead. This one over here would have to look at the range. It may take some time. I'd have to look at that. We aren't going to have to worry about that now, so unfortunately I only have 6 minutes. But it's been quite interesting, actually. It is really quite the first time I've actually played through a scenario. I have about, like, before I actually loaded it up today, I think I might have had about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes from 2019. and then I had 3 hours, and about 3 hours of that was being on the menu. And then here I am. I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube about tutorials. Actually, very useful, very useful. A lot to learn. Oh, they're moving in quite close there. So it was a second Soviet ship. I don't know why they're moving so close. You may be potentially moving within range. Why are you not firing? I don't know. Who knows? Are you meant to be over here? Why are you moving in so close? Lots of lessons to be learned. Lots of lessons to be learned. Yeah, they're moving out that way. Again, I don't know why they're getting so close. This is not this is not what you want to do. Don't get that close. I think their range was, what was it, 7 miles? And we can see that they do have their radar on. And they're at 20 knots. Oh! Okay, they are not. Okay. We're being opened on by the Soviets. I did not expect that. So HMS Belfast. So she's engaging against, yeah, so we're engaging here against the Soviet forces. Oh my, I didn't suspect this. Right, so we have support here from Consort, we have support here from Cossack. HMS Triumph being very close. I think essentially, yes, they came too close to the carrier. Belfast engaging. Those 45 build guns are a bit of a threat, but they are taken on. Yeah, 20 knots indeed is too fast. Right, so far, yeah, Cossack's taken a little bit of damage. Sorry, Belfast has taken a little bit of damage there. She's going to be going down there. She's flooding, heavy damage, destroyed, thankfully. Okay, that's the good news. I mean, she's kind of 45 mil. Belfast took a little bit of damage there. Yeah. I don't know why they moved in so close. That's a little bit dangerous. Okay. They're moving at 10 knots there. They've taken some damage. Okay. Now that's actually really quite worrisome then. I don't know what we're going to expect out this way. No, I didn't think they'd engage. I did think it was very strange though that they coming close. I mean, they did increase their speed, didn't they? I guess, telling signs of hostility there, really. But they sure took their time. They surely did. But yeah, there we go. Eliminate the other one there. Very nice. I was going to say it sounded like a new fire. Sorry, new shotgun now. Okay. Now, 2 minutes. I'd probably, at this time, then, look at the speed of the aircraft. It's too late to obviously rearm. But, yeah. So we'd have to attack at 610. Ooh, I don't know their game. It's pretty interesting. I suppose this is the consideration then, isn't it? What would that mean in the wider implications? I mean, oh... I didn't see, but I think they fired upon us first. And that's going to be the story that goes out there. But indeed. Not... not the thing you want to have happen there. Yeah, I think arguably, though... I don't know why they moved in so close there. That's probably something we'd have to look at. So, did we potentially cause that by moving in too close? I'm not too sure. All I know is that we did take fire, we responded in kind, and we destroyed the enemy. HMS Belfast there, earning herself a couple more tallies. This is very... That's interesting though. 14 knots out there. Ah, okay. 8 knots. 14, okay. I'm going to say that these are suspicious here. 8 knots maybe, but that does seem suspicious there. This one is actually listed as a surface combatant. In fact, it's actually listed as a destroyer there. Interesting. That could be very well a Soviet destroyer then, which is another order of magnitude over that of the actual river patrol boat. That's something to bear in mind. Again, I don't know why they moved in so close. Why are you doing that? There's literally coastal guns over here. Yeah, I don't know. You should really turn that way. Maybe they'll turn about now. But alas, we are out of time then. And it's actually been really, really different. It's definitely a different kind of game to what I normally play. Not saying it's bad at all. It's such a very interesting game, really awesome game. It's just what I've just not often played, so it's been quite interesting actually. I hope you guys did enjoy it. It's been the first time ever for me to play this on the Twitch channel. It's been the first time for me to play it other than just being on the menu, so it's been a lot of fun actually. I had to do quite a bit of cramming on YouTube tutorials to be able to play. At least we had some fun there. I think a more modern scenario probably would have been a little bit too overwhelming at first, but at least I got the basics down. There's quite a lot of plan that has to go into things here, which is quite fun, and I do enjoy that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again in the future. If you'd like to catch me again, you can catch me on YouTube at XTRG. Thank you to Sylvian once again, and indeed, Oyasamidasai, Jane, Madaraishu. I don't know what day next week, but I presume next week. Until then, sayonara.